Hello then, welcome back. Today is a Tuesday on Hello Nigeria, and of course, wherever you're sitting as well. And today on Hello Nigeria, we look at health. In particular, our focus this afternoon will be on a disease or a condition that many people actually in this part of the world do not talk about, perhaps because the prevalence is not that much. However, we still have cases in Nigeria, and it is good for us to look at this and explore the condition called Parkinson's disease. Now, we will be talking to a neurological physiotherapist who is with us this afternoon to discuss this condition, what it's about, the symptoms, what brings about this condition, and how it can be managed for those who already have it. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on set is Mr. Caleb ADEAGBO, who is our guest for this afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much indeed for coming.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Now, of course, the first question, because the truth is that it might amaze us, it won't be too surprising to know that some people watching do not even know what Parkinson's or have never heard about it before.
Okay.
So what is Parkinson's disease?
Parkinson's disease is also called paralysis agitant.
Okay.
Or layman can call it shaking paralysis. It was discovered in 1817 by James Parkinson. And the definition of Parkinson's disease is a slow progressive neurodegenerative diseases of the motor function. And what do I mean by motor function? I mean movement. So it's a movement disorder. Parkinson's disease has to do with movement disorder. But there are some non-motor manifestations that can happen. But usually you can diagnose it from the motor disorder. The individual with Parkinson's disease is show you as a symptom or sign.
All right. Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.
All right. So Parkinson's, when someone has Parkinson's disease, yes, what are the symptoms that you see physically?
Okay. What you see, there are 4 cardinal, and any of them can be used to just like assume or to just suggest that, oh, this is Parkinson. The first one is tremor.
Okay.
This type of tremor is what we call resting tremor. We have intention tremor. That is, somebody attempts to take something and it starts to shake. But the type of tremor in Parkinson is resting tremor. That is, somebody is resting and you notice the hand shaking. And the tremor is distinct because we call it a pill-rolling tremor. It's like somebody is holding a tablet in his hand and is going in this form, like a pill-rolling tremor. So that is the type of tremor Parkinson usually presents with, and that is the first cardinal sign. The second one is what we call postural instability. That is loss of balance in coordination. People with Parkinson's disease, they are unable to control themselves. They lose balance easily, and that's why they usually have wide stride. They always open their leg, and when they walk, they shuffle their leg. The third one is what we call bradykinesia. Bradykinesia means slowness to movement. That is, they are very slow. So I've said about tremor, postural instability, bradykinesia, and the last one is rigidity. Rigidity is stiffness of the body. The body is very stiff. And we have 2 types. We have the one we call the cogwheel, and we have the one we call the lead pipe. The cogwheel is that when you try to bend, it will be giving way and go. It will give way and go, give way and go. That's cogwheel type of rigidity. But in lead pipe, throughout, it's just like a lead. Throughout that movement, is going to be very stiff. So those are the 4 cardinal signs: tremor, rigidity, postural instability, and bradykinesia.
Well said. Thank you very much indeed.
Now, I'm a bit worried as well. You're mentioning tremor, and I know there's something called repetitive motion disorders. Yes. At what point can you say, okay, this is a repetitive motion disorder and not Parkinson's disease?
I said there are cardinal signs. We need just to see these signs. And most often in Parkinson, it is family that will quickly discover it. And I said it is slowly progressing. The person having Parkinson will be very fine. He will not discover that something is wrong with him. But friends will be saying that I discovered that your hand is shaky. Then later on, it will be progressive. It will start with one, later on go to the other one, start with the one leg, later on go to another leg. Then another thing is that they usually have another characteristic we see in them, that they have a stoop posture. That is, they are curved forward. And when they start, they are upright. But when it's progressive, they start stooping, till they cannot go upright again.
Is there an age range for people that are susceptible to Parkinson's?
Aging is a risk factor of Parkinson. And at 50, if you take like 6 or 10 people, you can discover one to have Parkinson. But it's
one in 6 or 10 people?
Yes, but it's not very common. That is above 50 years,
all right,
not just the general population.
What's the leading cause?
The leading cause, well, Parkinson...
Because the most famous case we have is Muhammad Ali, and a lot of people say because he took a lot of trauma to his head.
Yes, actually, with literature review, there has not been something that we can point at that is the cause of Parkinson's disease. But there are speculations, hypotheses, such as oxidation of active radicals, such as environmental predisposition, such as genetics. All these are just increasing in age. They are just, that is, people come together and say this can cause it. But there is no actual cause of Parkinson's disease. And let me just put this here, that Parkinson's disease occurs as a result of degeneration of some part of the brain, which we call substantia nigra, which is in the midbrain, and some part of the corpus callosum in the brainstem.
All right.
These two parts, they secrete what we call a neurotransmitter called dopamine. Dopamine acts as a regulator. When there is hyperactivity somewhere, it relaxes it. When there is slowness somewhere, it activates it up. It acts as both what we call excitator and inhibitor.
All right.
But if there is depletion in the neurons secreting dopamine, this is what now causes all these cardinal signs that I've mentioned about.
All right. Thank you very much indeed for being very, very elaborate with your description of Parkinson's disease. Now, something we know is that even as it doesn't have a leading cause, a possible proper leading cause, it also doesn't have a cure. What people who have Parkinson's disease can do is to manage the condition.
Yes.
Now, in what ways can we manage the condition? So with regards to drugs or lifestyle changes, what are some of the tips for managing the condition? Okay.
Management of Parkinson's disease is interdisciplinary, that is multidisciplinary. It's not that it's one aspect of healthcare that manages it. It should be what everybody will do. We have the physiotherapists, the family physicians, neurologists, psychologists, nurses, social workers, even the community. They are included in the management. But I'm going to just talk on my own aspect. The medical drug, from what we already know the cause, that is due to depletion of dopamine. So medically, is to give something that will act as dopamine. And that is what we call levodopa. So this is a type of drug a doctor must prescribe. You don't just go over the counter to get. A doctor must prescribe it. There are other, like dopamine agonists.
Dopamine is the one that helps for pleasure and happiness.
Yes.
Because if it's not prescription, people might buy it and take it.
It has to be prescribed by a neurologist. But from my own perspective now, as physiotherapist, there are many approaches in management of Parkinson's disease. But I will just give us one, which is what we call METARS, METARS. That is movement enhancement through exercise regimen and strategies. Movement enhancement through exercise regimen and strategies. The most important things are exercise regimen and strategy. What is going to achieve is the movement, because we talk about rigidity, we talk about slowness in to move, to perform executive action in bradykinesia, we talk about tremor. So when we combine the movement exercise regimen and strategy, it helps to achieve those ones. And what are the exercise strategies? They are going to be flexibility exercises and aerobic exercises. And what do I mean by aerobic exercises? They are low intensity, high duration exercises. That is an exercise someone will be able to do continuously without getting tired. Low intensity, but it's going to be of high duration.
Yeah.
And flexibility exercises are stretching. There are ways in which we stretch muscles, in which they will be giving way and reducing rigidity. Then I talk about the strategies. One of them is what we call cueing, C-U-E-I-N-G.
C-U-E-I-N-G, cueing, all right.
That is something alerting you.
All right.
To make sure to be aware. These people, Parkinson patients, they usually have slowness in performing any action. But they need something to activate them. Like if somebody is having Parkinson, his hand will be shaking, but immediately he starts to perform action, nobody will know that, oh, this man is having Parkinson.
Oh, really? So
yes.
That's why initially you mentioned with regards to resting.
That is, yeah, that is. It's going to, at rest, that's when you can identify it. But when they are functioning, there is no reduce in power, nothing.
All right. Okay.
They are very strong, do activity, but when they are resting, but when it's now progressing, a time will come that they will be slow to perform an action. Like if you say, help me with that book, their reaction time will be very slow. But there is something that you can use to activate them. That's where the strategy comes in. And we have about 4 ways of doing it. One is visual, like writing it somewhere that do this. So immediately they see it, they perform it. Another one is auditory, sound, making sound. They are aware. Anytime I hear this sound, I must do this and this. Like some of them, they will stand up to make the first step will be very difficult. But what we always advise them that, oh, just hit your leg on the ground. That sound will activate you, and you can now start moving. That's auditory. Then the third one, we call it cognition. That is, they try to recite what they want to do. Oh, I'm to pick that book. Or mental rehearsal. I'm to pick that book. I'm to pick that book. I'm to pick that book. So by giving themselves that awareness, they will be able to do it. And the last one is what we call proprioception. Like if you want to move forward, try and take a step backward to activate yourself, and you can now start.
That's like a launch pad.
Yes.
All right. Now we've been speaking to Mr. ADEAGBO on a physiotherapist, a neurological physiotherapist on Parkinson's disease, and he has really been schooling us. And I know that we, as we're watching, we're also learning as well, not just for ourselves, but people around us. We'll take a quick break right now. When we come back, the conversation continues. We'll be looking at some medical interventions, the causes, and support with regards to family and friends for Parkinson's disease carriers. See you soon. All right, you're most welcome back. Thank you very much. This is Hello Nigeria. We're speaking of Parkinson's disease, and to discuss this with us, ladies and gentlemen, we have had the pleasure of a neurological physiotherapist in the person of ADEAGBO. Thank you again very much for joining us this afternoon. Now, just to say a little bit about our guest, because earlier on we didn't want to distract from the topic, but just to let you know that he is a lecturer at the moment at the Department of Physiotherapy, College of Medicine of the University of Lagos, and also a PhD student of the School of Postgraduate Students, University of Lagos. His interest is in rehabilitation of neurological disorders. His primary interest is on stroke rehabilitation and prevention. And presently, he's working on the use of non-invasive brain stimulators to facilitate neuroplasticity and functional recovery after stroke. What an impressive CV.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, you've spoken so extensively about Parkinson's disease. It's a bit scary for some of us who are young. Are there any lifestyle habits that a person can make one predisposed to having Parkinson's disease later on in life? Or is it something that is hereditary? Yes.
What I would just say is this. When I was talking about the cause of Parkinson's disease, I said the actual cause is unknown. So since we don't know the actual cause, we cannot prevent it. But there are things we can do. Like since we know some factors that can cause it, like environmental predisposition, like being exposed to some toxin,
yes,
can cause it.
So we mentioned some pesticides.
Yes.
Some people had mentioned. And that's interesting because sometimes we expose ourselves to these things and we don't know that they have an effect on our internal bodies for perhaps later.
Avoiding toxin is one way of preventing Parkinson's disease. Then there are some antioxidants outside. That's why there are some people that give some drug that, it helps to prevent oxidants. I don't want to be advertising some company's name that they will say when you take this water, you drop this thing inside water, and that's the type of water you will be drinking, that it prevents you from some radiations.
So that means, is it safe to say now that it's important to detox every once in a while? Because sometimes you can't really help being exposed to these things.
Yes, but you know, it's the intensity, the amount you are exposed to, and individual differences. Those are what really matter.
Right.
Like some people, they will just be exposed to little, and it will show. And some will be sitting with it, and you will not even see the manifestation.
All right. So with regards to, you mentioned the fact that we have some issues around this. Are there any clinical trials? We know it's still an ongoing with regards to research on this condition. Like you mentioned, scientists haven't yet found a probable cause, a certain cause for it, but they're still researching. Yes. And we know that April, I think the 11th of April is World Parkinson's Day.
I guess so.
Coinciding with the birthday of the man Dr. James Parkinson, who discovered the disease. Now, are there in Nigeria walk-in or clinic trials that one can participate in to help with the research into this condition?
I think there is one in Lutz.
Okay.
Yes, there is one in Lutz, in which they manage people with Parkinson's disease. And there is association also. Then there are international association. We call them Movement Disorder Society.
All right.
So if I may ask a personal question here, your PhD thesis, what area of the studies are you looking at? Maybe you could help find a cure.
Yes. I'm working on non-invasive brain stimulation, in which the brain will be stimulated from outside.
Without
not invasive. That is, you are not going in from outside. And there are many modalities you can use. One of it is transcranial magnetic stimulator, very expensive.
Oh, you use magnets?
Yes, like you use magnetic current.
Wow.
Is that not dangerous?
That sounds like
it's not dangerous.
What are the side effects of these?
There's no side effects.
And sci-fi.
All right.
Because when they are using the stimulator, that is transcranial magnetic stimulator, it will identify the part of the brain, and it's usually connected to fMRI, functional magnetic MRI, functional MRI. That is the function taking place.
So it's specific?
Yes. That is, when you lift your hand up with fMRI, you will see the part of the brain, the action. So when you apply this same instrument, they will be seeing action taking place in the brain. Wow. But I cannot afford.
I love
it can't be reversed.
Reverse, I didn't get
No, Parkinson's can't be reversed. There's no cure.
It's progressing. That is one thing. We have some neurological diseases that are non-progressive. Example is stroke. If somebody has a stroke now, the damage that has been done is not going to be increasing. It's only if it's not well managed that the symptoms can worsen.
That's some good news. Because I know things like Alzheimer's, like you mentioned,
Alzheimer's is progressive. Like dementia. After stroke.
Yes.
I mean, after Alzheimer's, Parkinson's is next progressive neurological disease.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We'll go on a quick break right now, and we have some exciting news. I cannot contain myself, and we'll be talking about people who are born today in history. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. It's been very, very extensive, like you mentioned. I felt like I was in a medical class, because of the terms, and you explained the terms. And I hope that people out there... Yes, very much. Do you have a social media handle that people can follow you on?
Yes, I'm on Twitter.
What's your Twitter handle, please?
@ADEAGBO.
At Caleb ADEAGBO. All right. So if people have follow-up questions for you, they can go on there and ask you. Guys, ladies and gentlemen out there, you have been given the opportunity, generously given by our guest today, to ask him questions on neurological diseases, especially Parkinson's or stroke. We'll go on a quick break right now. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up the show and we'll be unveiling this afternoon all those who are celebrating today in history.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love am.